Hi there, everyone. I know it's been a while. I know I was doing reviews on Sailor Moon Crystal, but I'm not gonna do it anymore. A lot came up in my life, and things haven't exactly been easy lately. Mainly this time, I wanted to talk about. No, okay. Basically, this is the thing, and it's a little bit hard to talk about, so please bear with me as I try the damnedest I can. I battle a lot with depression and anxiety because I've been bullied since before I was in kindergarten, and now that I'm 22, I graduated in 2011 from high school and I haven't gone to college yet, and yet I'm still being bullied by the stupidest of people as I'm trying to just go out and about with my friends. So it's pretty much been, I could say, roughly 18 out of my 22 years of life, but basically this time I kind of wanted to bring it to light and explain some things because, I'm like a lot of other people, I can't afford to do things that can help me. So I'm stuck more or less talking about it, and the more I talk about it, the more I find that it helps. So basically this time I'm going to talk about why it kind of comes up in that, and maybe it might be able to help you from my life experiences. And if you need someone to talk to, you can always comment or message me and I will talk to you as best as I can, alright? But, I'm just gonna kind of start off with a couple of things. My dad used to be a hardcore drinker, and it would get really bad. You couldn't talk to him because all he would ever want to do was cause a fight. Everything we would say was wrong, and I would go to school, and the teachers would always tell you, leave your problems at the door. I couldn't do that because they didn't understand. I'd maybe have a really good day at school, and then I'd have a shitty day at home. I couldn't focus on my homework, and I didn't really like being home. I would purposely walk home with my friends just to avoid a few extra hours away from him. And it got really hard because he never hit us. At least except for when we were young, but it's not abuse. It was just a typical backhand from a parent if we were really bad. But basically his was verbal and mental abuse when it came down to it. And it severely broke me down it still actually affects me today, to tell the truth. My anxiety gets to the point where I'm afraid of everything. Even as simple as someone keeping the back door unlocked. Like, we keep our back door open and the screen door behind it, but my dad, for some odd reason, likes to keep it unlocked. Well, I don't mind it being open to let air in, but I need it to be locked because it's a part of my anxiety and my fear. It may sound stupid, but it's a little thing that nags me until I have to go lock it myself, because I'm scared of everything when it comes down to it. Trying to remember what else. It wasn't only my dad's abuse, it was verbal and mental abuse, and actually some physical abuse by kids from high school and elementary school, but high school is the defining years for everything. Basically, when it came down to it, a lot of kids found it hilarious to basically do the stupidest of things that they don't get, that gets under the surface to somebody else, basically. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I'm sorry if I keep pausing. It's really, really hard to talk about. But, I have, always been a bigger person, okay? I admit that. I've always had trouble with being overweight. It's not an easy thing to fix either. Like, even now I'm overweight. I can't help it. I mean, I've been trying to fix things for years. It may take a while longer. Excuse me, sorry about that. But I'm honestly trying. But it got to the point I was afraid to wear the colors blue and purple in school because I'd either be called the Blueberry or Barney the Walking Dinosaur, and I hated it. But a name a lot of people like to stick with was Big Bertha. I have no clue where it even came from, basically. And I remember the one time in my freshman year, when I was in history, we were learning about a machine called the Bertha that helped in some kind of battle, if I remember right. I'm not 100% sure since it's been so long. But the room was dark and we were using a projection screen. So the teacher was looking up and writing notes still. So basically what happened is all the kids dropped their pencils, turned around and looked at me, and I sat there bawling the remainder of the class, and the teacher never noticed. I never had help. And it got so bad that I basically, I applied to what's called a trade school, where you have classes for half a day, and then the other half it's either morning or afternoon, basically, and you can have real world classes for culinary, auto body, Cosmo, nursing, stuff like that, basically. And I applied for culinary, but this is a school where you have to be accepted via an application you sent in. So I had no clue what was going to happen, but at the end of my freshman year, I couldn't take it anymore. I was ready to end it. And when I got my application, my acceptance letter to the trade school, I remember bawling my eyes out. That I was so relieved that I would have somewhere new to go. And honestly, it changed my life for the better. But I'd still have trouble with kids on the bus that basically there would be a lot of words said, but the main events that bothered me was, someone was trying to get my attention the one time, and I was listening to my music. I hadn't had a good day. I didn't want to take it out on anyone, so I figured, you know, I'm going to keep things to myself and let it go. Well, they decided to start throwing a empty pop bottle at the back of my head. I completely ignored it the whole damn time, but I remember the back of my head being numb. It took until my bus stop at my house for someone behind me to finally pick up the bottle and hand it to me. And I walked up to the bus driver, whom I was really, really lucky that she was like one of my friends. So when I handed it to her, I remember getting off the bus and walking inside, only to hear that she had put the bus in park. And basically, she went on to screaming at them to cut it out and that it wasn't right. And if they ever did something like that again, they would all be kicked off her bus because she wasn't standing for it. Another thing was my bus for the route was one of the fuller buses. I mean, it was maybe 3 to 4 to a seat at one point before they had to build an all-new bus with more seats for our route. So basically what would happen is, by the time my bus from my trade school would return to my high school, so I could take my bus home, all the seats would already be taken by all the kids from that high school that were already on the bus, so I would usually have to get a seat near the back where the supposed cooler kids were sitting, but it was just a bunch of druggies and shit. But I remember having to sit in the back the one time to go home, and my bus ride was only 15 minutes, so it wasn't that long for anything. But they one day put a used condom in my hair. No, it wasn't old. It was brand fucking new. I mean, I'm lucky I pushed it out of my hair, and when I got home, I talked to my parents about it. I mean, they didn't see anything, but I took a shower right off the bat because I felt so gross. I mean, why? Why that? Of all things, I don't get it. But it's just... there's a lot of other stuff that goes on. Like earlier I said that like when people go by in their cars as I'm walking with my friends, someone will shout out a window, "Hey, eat a Big Mac!" And it's like, what the fuck? Seriously? Or, I was walking from a convenience store back to my friend's apartment, and we were talking, and someone went by, and they decided to stick their head out the window and scream as loud as they could to scare us. And I mean, it's stupid shit like that that, honestly, it just proves how immature a person is. What they don't get is, when they're making fun of a person, they don't know how that person is going to handle it. I've been lucky that I have my supportive friends. I'm still here because of them. I quit trying to talk to a lot of adults, though, because adults never listen. It's like, just, you know, let it go. Don't say anything. Or if you say something, it's like they push it off to the side. Nothing ever happens. Because the one time I went to a principal to get help. Actually, no, there was 2 times, excuse me. Once at my home school, the kids basically got a tap on the wrist. And, at my trade school, I had a couple of freshmen. Yeah, freshmen bullying a senior. Well, I ignored them for the longest time, because they were just brats, and I was just waiting for my year to be done and over with. And basically, what ended up happening was, the seniors had a project to do after lunch, and we came back from eating, lunch. And suddenly here comes brat number 1, the boyfriend, because the two were a couple, and he puts down a Diet Pepsi in front of me and says it's called Slim Fast. And it's like, what the hell? I haven't said anything to you all day. I've left you alone minus you guys putting your fucking knees into the back of our bus seat. But other than that, it's like, from there, I remember I started crying, but I let things go, so, I went to the locker room to get away, and I was purposely putting the, I think I threw the pop away if I remember right, but basically I just went into the locker room to cool down. Well, here comes idiot number 2, the girlfriend, with all of her friends laughing and giggling, so I left the locker room to get away. And basically, as soon as I left, I could hear her and her friends joking about the whole damn thing and making fun of me still. So at the time, I had a friend there. She wasn't a senior, but she was a freshman, because we were all waiting to leave to go to our next classes. And I remember her going into the locker room, which sometimes you can hear the giggling in that, into the culinary kitchen. But that's about it. But I could hear her screaming right through that door as clear as day for them to cut it the fuck out. Well, after that, I remember bawling my damn eyes out. And we had a sub that day instead of our chef teacher. And I asked her if I could go down to the office to report it. And she said, well, can't you wait for the period to get done? It's like, there's an anti-bullying policy in the school, and you're not even enforcing it. So, as soon as everyone left the locker room again, I went back to the locker room, and in typical school rules, you're not allowed a cell phone in there. Well, I would have my cell phone on me, and during culinary, there'd be some days where you could get away from it. As long as you did your work, you didn't get caught. And basically, I went in there, I called home, talked to my mom. I remember bawling to her. And by the time I was done, she had to end up calling the office to report it. And one of the secretaries had to come and get me out of the classroom. Well, on my way there, I apologized for using my cell phone, and she said I had done the right thing, that I would not get in trouble and I would not get written up because the teacher wasn't doing her job. Well, about a few days later, the principal and me and the 2 little idiots, the freshmen, were in his office. And basically, it felt like they only got a slap on the wrist. I figured they'd get some kind of detention, but they didn't. The thing is just, it's stupid shit. I never got help. It's like anti-bullying policies were everywhere, and it's like, no, it's not there. Why? But, from being made fun of for so long, things just haven't been easy. I mean, I let my depression get so bad that I think it was sometime last year. I was and I was 21 at this time, okay? And I was at a local fair with my mom because it was our day to go out and do things. Well, basically, I didn't see any colors. All I saw was black and white and gray. That was it. That's how bad my depression had gotten. And I had to see my doctor soon after that. And I had to end up being put on a medication to control the depression. So it's a little bit better now, but there are still times I suffer from it really bad. And my anxiety can drive me to never leave my room, because it can be that bad. What else was there? Basically, it's just, I understand depression it's not an easy thing for people. There's very few things I've found that can keep me busy. Honestly, I used to enjoy writing, but my hands cramp so bad when I try to write even a paragraph. So that joy got taken away from me. I used to enjoy reading, but I quit for so long that, trying to hold a book, whereas it would usually only take me 2 or 3 hours to read like 500 pages. Now, I think the last 500-page book I picked up, it ended up taking 3 or 4 days to finish because my eyes weren't adjusted anymore to reading to the pace I was used to. On really rare blue moon occasions, I enjoy drawing, but I have to do it so slowly because I hate the way I draw. But I do it for like special occasions, for like friends' birthdays and that. But otherwise, out where I live, there's nothing to do. I used to enjoy sitting down at a creek that was roughly about a mile or two from my place. And it was beautiful to just sit there, even though it was no trespassing. But I wouldn't do anything. I just go back there and sit. Well, it ended up, someone went back there with dynamite and blew up a beaver dam and ruined the whole area. So I lost that area with ease. I went, I think for about 2 or 3 weeks. I'd get up at like 6 o'clock every morning and go for a mile walk from my place down and back. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I had this constant fear of looking over my shoulder that I don't know where it came from, but I think it was my anxiety doing it to me, so I had to quit that. And basically, I still have trouble with a lot of things because my dad has gotten hurt at his work a lot, okay? He had to end up retiring because he fell off a ladder onto an I-beam because he was a machine repairist and a travelsman for a company called Owens, Illinois, or OI. And basically what happened is, one day he was up on a ladder rung, and he had the boots that every worker was supposed to have. Well, he ended up slipping on one of the ladder rungs that a guy below him was supposed to be holding, but the guy wasn't there. And my dad slipped and fell onto an I-beam. And basically it busted his head open. I think he had a contusion on his brain. So he had to have stitches inside and outside his head. And on the final report, it says that he jumped. And I call complete bullshit because those people don't care. He had so many other accidents, and every time they tried to say, he jumped. Bull. My dad worked there for 33 years. 33 years of his life. And that's what pisses me off the most, is that those people don't give two shits about them. And their little CEOs don't even touch the damn machines. They don't even work. They just sit in their pretty little offices all day. And the worst part is OI is mainly over here in America. I know there's some over in other countries like Mexico and that, but it's mainly here in America. Their CEOs and bosses don't even speak English. So imagine the CEO coming into your work and trying to talk to the guys. They had to have a damn translator. Now, I'm sorry for complaining, and if anyone who works there sees this video, nothing against you. But I'm here to rant about shit like that too, okay? But other than that, because of what has happened and all the pain he's in, I mean, I know he has deteriorating discs in his back, and he has to have a full hip transplant now. Replacement, not transplant, I'm sorry. Excuse me. And basically, it's taken a toll to where he will bitch out loud about his pain and everything. And I mean, I understand. He's in pain, okay? I get that. But it just kind of takes his mental toll that, like, if my mom and I are in pain, oh no, his pain is 3 times worse. Because my mom had a stroke a couple of years ago. And she was told she was supposed to be a vegetable. Well, she ended up coming out of it just almost fine. She has, I think on this eye, the left eye, she cannot see out of her peripheral, which is the side, if I think right. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. She has trouble driving at night because of it, and there are times, because her stroke was on her left side, that she'll be holding something, and it'll just give out. Like, her whole left side will suddenly slouch. She also suffers from migraines because of it. And come to find out, the migraines part was made worse by the stroke, but it is on my mom's side of the family, because my grandmother had it. Her 3 daughters, which is my mom, and her 2 sisters have it. And it's been passed down to me, because I now am diagnosed with headaches. They're not as bad as they used to be, but my problem is I have trouble with this sensitive hairline. So even just keeping my hair pinned up with this actually hurts a little bit. It starts by pulling, and then I get this really bad headache. And it's not made any easier by the fact that my hair will grow to roughly about here before it thickens, and it's like a 10-ton weight, so I constantly have to have my hair cut. But okay, I know I'm getting off topic now. But basically, there's a lot of stuff that can drag a person down, and it's not easy, I get that. But I want to show people that I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I know people that have killed themselves because they've been bullied. And in some way, I want to be an advocate for them. I want to stand up in their place and prove to the bullies that not everyone is going to up and kill themselves. I'm going to figure out what I want to do with my life, and I'm going to make things better somehow. But, it's going to take a while, I admit that, because I'm afraid to get a job, I'm afraid to do anything. I'm even afraid to speak out on a damn stage. I admit that. But I think someday I'll be able to do something. I know something I'm going to end up doing for myself is, for anyone who's heard of the semicolon tattoos for the fight against depression and anxiety and stuff like that, I'm going to get it on my forearm here, and I'm just going to get, it isn't over yet, I don't know what kind of writing I want to do yet, but I have to figure out what's the cheapest price because I don't have a lot of money, and then a semicolon, but on the circle of the semicolon, I want to get a butterfly that's perching because my mom and I both like butterflies, and for an art project in my senior year, I did a mirror for my mom where we used acid paper to put details and writings on a mirror piece we bought, and I ended up putting my mom's online username because everyone knew her by it, and on the end I had a on the beginning letter. I had a butterfly perching that. I had to use a light table to etch the butterfly onto the letters because it wasn't there first, but that's what I want to do. I don't want any color, I just want it all in black, but I want to do it to do something different, basically, to kind of stand out, but not too much. Otherwise, this video is not exactly easy for me, but I'm hoping in the long run that it'll help someone, because I want to be there to show other people that I'll be here for them. So, if you need to talk at all, feel free to comment below or message me. If you have any questions, just do what you need to do, but take the time to think about who's in your life and who truly cares about you, because you may feel it's the end. There are people who care about you. I have the best of friends that I consider my brothers and sisters, and I wouldn't be half of who I am without them. It's like, one more thing you should know, okay? I am bi, so it's really hard to tell the truth. I'll admit that, okay? I have a gay best friend, and he's like my brother because we went to the same school together, and he's helped me through thick and thin, and I don't want anyone to be rude about this part, okay? Just don't do the whole fight below thing, okay? I want to be open with everybody, alright? But for the meantime, this is the end of my video because I know it's a little bit long, and I'm sorry about that, but I figured I'd explain things, get things off my chest, and see if there's someone out there that I can help in the long run. Otherwise, yeah. Thank you for listening, and I really, really hope you have a good day, alright? Bye-bye!